Beyond angels and VCs, corporate venture capital. Corporate venture capital can be very exciting for certain kinds of entrepreneurs. Corporate venture capital funds share some features in common with traditional venture capital funds, including senior personnel titles, but they operate very differently. These overlap and differences can be confusing for fund-seeking entrepreneurs who can be forgiven for assuming that all fund managers must do the same thing. Corporate venture capital funds are typically semi-attached to the parent company from which they originate. This means that they are usually semi-autonomous, but not fully independent from their parent companies. Corporate venture capital funds often invest alongside traditional venture capital funds, allowing the traditional venture capital fund to lead topics like due diligence, while the corporate venture capital fund adds funds, increases value, and creates future alignment for exit possibilities. For entrepreneurs, this means that it can be possible to acquire quite a bit more funding and resources in a given round just by taking advantage of a traditional venture capitalist's corporate venture capital partners. In this way, early-stage companies can gain access to valuable resources for critical activities like research and development, early prototyping, scaling, and more. It's important to understand that while in traditional venture capital firms, the general partners will typically make the final decision on investments. In corporate venture capital firms, final decisions will be structured in alignment with the strategic imperatives of the corporate fund's parent company. Strategic imperatives for corporations go beyond revenue generation and can include cost control, research and development, talent acquisition, and a host of other factors which are not always obvious to the entrepreneur focused on pitching to traditional angels and venture capitalists. Therefore, when considering corporate venture capital for your firm, be sure you understand the strategic imperatives of the corporations which backstop the corporate venture capital funds you will be approaching. One great thing about large corporations is that they are usually happy to share their strategic imperatives with you somewhere on their website or in their regulatory disclosures. With a little bit of luck and the services of Google, you can usually discover quite a bit about how to align your offer to their needs before making the approach. To recap, there are many different kinds of private equity investors, each with different perspectives. It's important to understand the kind of private investor you are speaking to, what their specific concerns are, which fields and stages they are interested in, what their check sizes are, and so forth. In the case of professional investors, you can always look at their websites, press releases, and information sources like Crunchbase to learn more about them. In the case of people who invest their own money, aka angels and super angels, you'll probably have to ask them directly if they don't share that information on social media or some other public platform. In every case, knowledge is power. Bring the right deals to the right people at the right times in the right ways. Being too early, too late, or off topic will lower your fundraising efficiency and can waste a lot of very valuable time. Being on time, on topic, with the right investors for your industry and business stage will make fundraising a much smoother process. Where do you as an entrepreneur fit in right now if you were to start seeking investment? Tell us below in the comments.